right, welcome back. Another edition.
Summertime.
Yeah.
The first official summer.
First official summer edition with spring vegetables. So, anyway,
Well, we've
welcome.
got some summer stuff too now, and let's not discredit the cherries and the apricots.
Oh, yeah. You're right. So, cool. Well, we're going to do some grilled meats today we have an apricot glazed root veggies and a little sugar snap pea salad. And if you didn't get peas in your CSA this week, maybe you got some broccoli, please. We'll chop up the broccoli and make a little broccoli salad. Either way, it's going to be good. So just kind of want to encourage people to use what they got.
So how are you thinking about swapping it then? If I don't have peas in my CSA, what do you, or maybe I don't have broccoli, if I don't have either one of those, am I just looking for something green and crunchy on top? Is that kind of what your swap idea is with this?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you didn't get either, I don't know. I feel like most of the kits this week should have had one or the other, I feel like.
I would think, but yeah, it seems like peas are in full swing at this point.
But if not, we could always do a little salad with the beet greens if we needed to or something like that. I mean, still be nice. So
yeah, we'll get creative.
Um,
Shankini said she got sugar snap peas in hers, so
great.
She's relieved.
Yeah. No, it's great. I mean, so this time of year, I don't love carrots and beets this time of year. One, because usually I've used them all winter and all early spring for overwintered, and I'm kind of ready to just get them back later in the year.
Yeah.
But also because they're nowhere near as sweet right now because the ground isn't cold enough for them to get sweet for us. So there are one varietal Mochums have a little more
carrots. I can't wait.
They have a little more natural sugar than most carrots, but still they're definitely better once the ground's gotten cold. And
for those that don't know what Mochums are, they're kind of the short, fat carrots. They're maybe 4 inches, 5 inches long, and
super tasty,
super fat.
So we're gonna cook the veggies today in this apricot glaze to add some sweetness back to them and to utilize these fun first of summer fruits that are coming out. So that's kind of the idea.
Look at this spread today. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
So vibrant and colorful.
Hopefully your CSA looks something, could look exactly like this. I
don't know if the apricots will be in there.
Well, no, some farms are offering if people got a fruit share tacked on to their CSA box. So you could start seeing that pop up. But either way, let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and clean the veggies really quick. That way we're ready to roll. And then we'll make this glaze and get those cooking and move forward. So the beet greens, I probably won't use them in this recipe, but just throw them in, saute them up at some point during your week. Don't get rid of these. They're usually really nice, especially now. And they'll be nice for at least the next month until bugs or something start getting to them or the heat gets too much for them. But,
I mean, technically it's Swiss chard, right? Kind of, sort of, right? Isn't that where Swiss chard came from?
Basically a farmer, seed breeder. He loved the greens on beets, but did not care for the beetroot. So instead of wasting it, he bred the seeds to not have a beetroot, just grow the greens, which is where Swiss chard came from. So
yes,
it's cool, but all right. So we're gonna peel this stuff really fast.
You're peeling the beets. Are you
Yes.
peeling the carrots today? I know you said sometimes you don't really worry about it too much this time of year when the skin's not super hard.
Yeah, these are a little bigger than I'd like. I might peel these a little just because it seems like there's a little kind of toughness on mine. It kind of depends on what your carrots look like.
Okay. Well, what am I looking for to tell whether or not this is like
So
peelable
these,
or not?
like smaller, less roots coming out like the side, because as they grow in the ground, they start just shooting out little roots through the whole like the whole thing.
Yeah.
So if you have like nice young carrots that don't really have like a ton of roots developed along the vegetable, don't peel them. Just kind of give them a nice rinse and wash them. The beet skins are going to be thick, so
Yeah, I don't think you ever like don't peel beets, right? I mean, unless you roast them and then you're peeling them off anyway.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I always peel beets. Not necessarily like this all the time, but usually we're like pre kind of steaming them out, and then the skin just wipes off with a towel. But
I know you're doing that over the trash can for efficiency's sake, but can you do it where we can all see you?
yeah, sorry.
And you're using a Y peeler for this. Does it matter if you use a Y peeler or not?
I mean, it does. I just prefer these. It's the industry standard. I don't like the sideways peelers really, so. But they work.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, they definitely work. You gotta watch your fingers. Definitely caught myself with a peeler before. It's not fun.
Yeah. Peel your fingernail right off.
Is there a certain way you're holding that to like make it a little safer for you, or
Yeah, typically.
keep all your fingers out of the way?
Yeah, give it a good grip, and then I use the peeler with my thumb in the back and just kind of pull through. The danger is when you're trying to do this here, you just peel your hand instead of a vegetable.
Yeah, that's not fun. It hurts. It's almost as bad as a mandolin, but not quite.
Not that dangerous.
Mandolins are terrifying. I cut myself the other day just putting it away, and I wasn't even like using it.
Right.
Is anybody else out there cooking along with us today, or you guys just kind of watching and taking notes?
Right. I hope you're cooking.
I hope everybody's cooking this one. It's gonna be so good.
I just try to work fruit into savory stuff as much as I can while it's around.
I mean, we're in that time of year. I can't. We saw our first peaches this year, like already this past weekend. I think Morton's and Rancho Durazno both had peaches in addition to cherries and apricots. And it's June, which is just crazy because I've never seen peaches this early ever. I feel like we're an entire month ahead this year on everything.
It's been an exceptionally warm spring.
Yeah.
We didn't get any late frost. We didn't get
Any crazy snowstorms.
We didn't get any late snowstorms this year. It's wild. I mean, it was cold, but it never happened. I was fully expecting to be on the farm and have to work in a snowstorm in May, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised we didn't get anything at all. Shankini said Sam and Cindy are cooking along. Kristen and Martin are cooking along. Matt Farrow's cooking along. Oh yeah, and Sam's cooking along, adjusting as fast as they can with what veggies they have.
Nice.
Yeah, if you guys have questions, if you have things
Yeah.
that are different than what we are, like, and you're not really sure how to proceed, like, by all means, just shoot us a question in the chat. We're happy to help you navigate all of that.
Yeah, I'm here. If you have food questions, even unrelated to this video.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be this video or anything about any of this. Whatever is plaguing your mind, let us know.
Yeah, if you guys need anything, I'm here for it. So, all right.
Cool. It
So-
looks like you got a bunch of chefs cooking with you today, man.
That's awesome. All right.
Sam says they're using peaches and plums, radishes and carrots.
Plums, nice.
Yeah, that's
Peaches,
awesome.
plums, radishes. Radishes would be good. The only one I would be concerned about is Hockereye turnips in the glaze. They are just really watery vegetables, and I just worry about them breaking down too much. But with the radishes, they said carrot and radish.
Carrots and radishes, and then peaches and plums for their stone fruit.
So
for the
we're
glaze.
gonna. So if you're using radishes, we're gonna throw those in a little later than you would with your carrot. So just, we don't want those to get too mushy. Carrots, they're really good stewed or anything, but radishes are a different story. So they're still gonna be great in there. We'll just put them in a little later.
Well, yeah, they cook faster than the carrots do, right?
Yeah. All right. And yeah, just make sure they're clean.
Yeah, you won't have to peel the radishes, right?
No.
You'll just leave the skin on, just make sure there's no dirt on them.
Make sure there's no dirt. Good to go. Cool. So what we're gonna do with these, doesn't really matter how you cut these up. You just want to make sure they're similar size.
Kristen, to answer your question, we're not doing anything with the steak yet. I think all we've done so far is just pulled it out of the fridge. It's just chilling on the plate.
Yeah, I do have my fridge out because it is like inch and a half.
We have a really thick steak, so
It's a 1 pound New York strip. So I've
Yeah.
got it out just to kind of
temper it.
temper it. It'll cook a lot faster that way.
Yeah, if you have a
I've-
thick
I've-
cut steak, I would go ahead and pull it out.
Yeah,
now.
and I mean, I've talked about this before when you're cooking meat, you know, whether you temper it or not temper it, it's up to you. I just recommend doing it the same way every time because it'll just be consistent with your cooking because a tempered steak will cook a lot faster than one you just pulled out of the fridge. So that's really the only...
Well, and it helps make it like kind of cook a little more evenly, right? Because if it's not icy cold in the center,
Eh,
it doesn't really matter.
Never had an issue with even cooking on
Okay.
steaks out of the fridge. It's just cook times. I mean, at the restaurant, we had to keep everything refrigerated, obviously, because
Yeah, of course.
we don't know what's going to get ordered or not.
Yeah, but in this case, I mean, what, you have up to 4 hours before you really have to worry about it? Like 4 hours being out of the fridge?
Yeah, and then you just have to get rid of it, technically.
According to like food safety standards.
Yes.
Realistically, those are probably a little strict, but
Well,
I don't think you're going to leave it out for 4 hours. We're not going to be on this for 4 hours. So it's
they have to encapsulate the entire food system with
Yeah.
those laws. So, like, farmed, like, really fresh meat from a farm like Buckner Ranch, or if you're getting pork from like Lazy J Ranch or something like that, you're already going to have a lot less bacterial risk on those foods just because of how they're raised and all that fun stuff. So the commercial food system, you just have a lot higher risk of catching bacterial things from that. So that's what food safety laws are designed around.
yeah, I mean, obviously you have to encapsulate that part of it in there.
Yeah.
Well, and then, you know, like they'll inject meats with, like commercial meats with water and chemicals to help them stay fresh longer. and to bring them up to a higher weight. So, I mean, yeah, if you're getting it from your rancher, you're getting a much better deal. Even if it does cost a little bit more, you're actually getting what you paid for instead of just water. So what are you doing over here? You're just chopping away, not telling me anything.
Look, we're making all the veggies the same size.
You got me sidetracked on meat.
No, it's fine. We're just making all the veggies the same. That's all. That's all I want to do.
So you're making them all the same size?
Roughly.
It doesn't matter like what shape they are or how crazy they look?
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure the carrots, beets, so they cook.
How are you cutting those beets? It looks like you were kind of like going in on an angle to cut them into thirds.
Yeah. Cut them in half. You can slice them lengthwise into chunks and dice them. I'm kind of cutting them in half and then cutting them into thirds to make nice little wedges. But yeah, just trying to make them smaller. All right.
How many beets did you just do?
I had 4 beets.
And how many carrots?
About the same amount volume-wise.
Okay.
I mean, you can see here it's kind of,
Almost an even mix.
yeah, I'm just doing a mix.
Shankini said it's fancy cutting.
I
He's chefing it over here.
don't know. I'm just cutting stuff out. Yeah, and if you got red beets instead of the gold, I just want it all orange. But even if you had red beets, same thing. It's just gonna dye your glaze all red.
Yeah.
So your carrots will get dyed red. But that's fine. It's gonna taste great. So cool. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna place. Move my herbs. I'm gonna go ahead and place all my veg in the saute pan really quick. Just leave it there. We're just gonna cook these root veggies in the liquid that we're about to make. So, this will make a salad here in just a moment. Cool. All right, so I have apricots. We want about a cup of fruit puree. We're gonna throw this stuff in the blender really quick.
Oh, there is nothing like a fresh apricot. We just got them yesterday, so typically when I get fresh fruit, I like to take it out of the container and put it out on like a cookie sheet or something and leave it out on the counter for at least 24 hours, sometimes 48 before I put them in the fridge. It really depends. You gotta kind of like feel them a little bit and smell them. They should be like fragrant and slightly softer than when you first got them to really get the best out of them.
Really quick. Plums, peaches, like these are free. This is what's called free stone, when you can cut it in half and they pull apart. And
The stone
just
pops
pop
right out.
pit.
Yeah.
The stone comes right out. If you're sitting here, I would kind of cut it like a mango. If you're using early season peaches, the plums might be the same where you need to do this. So you're just going to put that line. You can see this, call it the butt. You can see it though.
Yeah.
So place it up. So that way the pit is the narrowest for you. You're going to slice down the side of it. And that's on plums and peaches. And then you can come back and kind of carve around that stone to make your life a little easier. That's the tip for now.
But if you have apricots, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, a little later in the season, peaches get free stone.
Mm-hmm.
Plums, Shiros are usually freestone Shiro plums.
I heard a rumor that Shiros are on their way already, so we'll have Shiro plums here soon.
All right. So we're gonna throw in our fruit. See kind of where we land. Cool.
Got exactly what you needed on the first shot.
Yeah. So
it didn't look like you like turned that up very high.
Not yet.
Was it just to kind of like
just to get a
little
volume amount and just to make sure we're good. So I've got the cup of fruit puree in here. I'm gonna do to start, because I just need to taste it before we go crazy, a 1/4 cup of sugar, or if you want to use a 1/4 cup of honey, please. And then I've got honey vinegar.
Kristen, yes, you put your fruit in the blender.
Yep. I've got this honey vinegar, but if you have cider vinegar or white wine vinegar, you just want something light in color. I wouldn't want to put like red wine vinegar in this specifically, because I want to keep that bright orange. But if you're using red beets and you have red vinegar, then
That'll
go
be nice.
for it.
Yeah. Berry vinegar would probably be fun.
Yeah, so
I
I'm
was
going to
say,
do...
if any of you guys were in our cocktail or whiskey or wine clubs before we closed the restaurant, you probably got some of this for Christmas. So it'd be a good opportunity to dust that bottle off and use it.
And then in this, we're going to put some spices.
Shankini, yes, chef did actually just use the measuring cup, believe it or not.
I did. Where's the spice cup?
Oh, it's probably in the dishwasher.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm going to start making you a checklist for pre-show. That's all right. I think we just gave everybody a chance to catch up to Mr. Speed Demon over here.
Oh, it's all good. So...
You're welcome, guys.
Yeah, so spices. So this is where coriander. We're going to put some of that in. I didn't realize I was out of coriander, so we're going to do a little cardamom instead, because both of those are really classic with carrot. But coriander, if you're doing coriander, about 1.5 tablespoons.
Sam, yes, it was a 1/4 cup sugar. Oh. Yeah, Kristen, it'll be 1 cup of fruit puree to about a 1/4 cup of sugar, and then right now we're measuring out spices to
Then
grind.
I put an 1/8 cup of vinegar.
An 1/8 cup of vinegar, excuse me. I missed that part.
Yep. That's for later. And then if you happen to have anise seed or fennel seed, we're also going to do a little bit of that in here. So I did, let's see, 1.5 tablespoons of your coriander, and then 1.5 teaspoons of like a fennel seed or anise seed to give it a little licorice in there.
And that's it? Just those two are in the spice grinder?
Yeah.
And if you didn't have a spice grinder, what would you do here?
Well, you could put spices on your cutting board and use a saute pan and kind of crush. Use your saute pan with the handle, and
So it doesn't really necessarily need to be like super fine grind.
no, this is just the easiest. So we're gonna put this in. Cool.
All right, and again, one more time, what were the spice ratios? It was 1.5 tablespoons of coriander.
Yep. And
And
a
then-
1.5 teaspoons of like the fennel or anise seed or something like that.
So right now in your blender, you've got your cup of apricot puree, you've got a 1/4 cup of sugar, 1/8 of a cup, which is equivalent of 2 tablespoons of honey vinegar, and then you just throw your spice blends in there.
Okay. I'm gonna add
What are you tasting for?
acidity.
Okay.
So we're making an agrodolce, a sweet and sour sauce.
But everybody's using like different fruits.
I know.
So, okay.
Everybody's using different fruits, different vinegars. So like this vinegar is lighter. That's why I said start with 1/8 of a cup. Get it pureed fine. And then give it a taste. You want it to be noticeably tart, but not obnoxious.
Okay.
I don't know how to explain it very well, but
Like a kind of like a kombucha almost,
yeah.
maybe? Like a vinegary one?
Like you don't want it to be like a warhead or
Yeah.
something. But
Or like drinking lemonade, right? Like it's sour, but it's sweet.
yes.
Yeah.
So
Shankini, the difference between anise seed and star anise, the flavor profiles are different on that. I feel like aniseed is a little bit more, like a little lighter and more delicate, where I feel like star anise is just like super punchy. Aniseed's really small, like almost the size of like cumin seeds, too. So like it's just kind of a
Oh,
different shape, and
this is
yeah,
so
it's not
good.
quite as punchy as star anise. Star anise is definitely like a little richer in that like licorice sort of flavor.
all right.
Okay, so what did you just do?
I've dumped that puree over the veggies.
Okay.
Now we're going to put it on a medium, it's a medium low heat depending on your burners and how they cook. I'm going to start on medium for now though until it's warm.
I was gonna say our medium usually is pretty warm.
And I'm going to do a little salt. Probably just about a teaspoon to start.
That was more than a teaspoon, my
Okay,
friend.
then-
That was a teaspoon per fist.
And I'm gonna do just a couple spins on some pepper.
You're using black pepper.
Yeah, just a little.
Can I ask why you wouldn't use white pepper in
Yeah.
this instance?
Just wanted to use black pepper.
Okay.
You can do. All right.
Just give everything a good toss to coat it.
Yeah, I'm kind of working that salt in a little. That'll help with the cooking process. Cool.
Yeah, because salt helps draw the moisture out of everything.
So I'm going to cover it so they steam, but we do want to eventually reduce that liquid down. I'm just going to try and get them started with the steam going. And we'll pull that lid off soon. And then we'll go from there. Cool. This will add just a nice touch to the...
Oh yeah, that agrodolce is like really simple. That took like 2 seconds to make.
Yeah. Yeah, all it is a sweet and sour. And honestly, I know you don't want to really eat sugar, but you just try that with the flavors and everything. Like,
Yeah, that's delicious.
so.
Sorry, the vinegar hit the back of my throat.
Yeah, it's not overpowering, but it's
No,
there.
not at all. No, it was good.
So,
It's just if you see me with that face, it caught me wrong, but it was really good.
cool.
Actually, the cardamom's really nice in that.
Yeah. And if you did use cardamom instead of coriander, it's 1.5 teaspoons. Not tablespoons. It would be way overpowering, I think.
Wait,
If you use cardamom instead of coriander, like we did,
you would do 1.5 teaspoons of that and then 1.5 teaspoons of the fennel?
yeah.
Oh,
But the coriander is what I had sent out to everyone.
okay.
So,
Well, hopefully everybody used coriander and didn't just dump a ton of cardamom in there.
so we're gonna give these beans. If they've got a string, we're just peeling those really
Can you
quick.
show everybody how to do that?
Yeah. Just kind of from the front, peel. Then
So you're
from
like kind of pinching.
pinch and tear. It'll pull what's needed off. If there isn't any, probably like this baby one might not have much because it's super tender still because of how small it is. The strings don't really develop.
I find that if you pinch just under the head where like those little leaves are, if you can manage to get your finger through without tearing the strings on both sides, you can wind up peeling both of them off at the same time.
You can, yeah.
Save yourself a little one movement, but over time it compounds, right? I don't know. I think after working in restaurants for so long, trying to find ways to make your movement as efficient as humanly possible, it always became a task in my brain. However, I could take the least amount of steps to do something.
Yeah, I'm going to string these, and I will grab... I can grab a little broccoli head just to show that in case somebody watches this that has broccoli or whatever, because it's also great in a salad. So.
Oh yeah. Well, especially now, like with the spring broccoli from like the local farms, like it's so good. It's so tender. It's definitely not the same as the stuff you get in the grocery store.
Yeah, and the peas were really sweet this week.
Oh, they're so good.
I don't know if it's the heat that like brings out some heat or some sweetness in the peas, but or maybe them just sitting on the vine a little longer, but
I don't know. I've been obsessed with eating peas lately.
They're really good.
Like candy.
Yeah,
but
so
it's good for you.
This is just going to be a little salad that we put over the meat, like right over the top. It's going to add just a little freshness to the dish. But the agrodolce itself will counter the fat and everything in the meat. So
right now you have the agrodolce, everything's covered.
Yeah, right now I'm just covering it. You know, we don't want to scorch the bottom of the pan after, you know, the sugars can tend to kind of stick to the pan and whatnot if it gets too thin or too reduced. But right now,
yeah, if you don't have a lot of liquid in the pan, then it definitely will start to scorch.
But right now we're good. We're bringing it up.
Well, and then all the water that's in like the carrots and the beets will start to kind of cook out
Yeah.
a little bit too and thin it out, keep it from burning.
Cool.
I feel like that's a lot of cooking in general. It's just how much water is left in what you've made.
Yeah.
It's just reducing the water out or making sure that there's enough of it so that it doesn't burn. So what do you have there? Probably about like a 3/4 of a pound of peas,
Maybe,
roughly,
if that.
give or take.
I don't know. Just enough for us to eat.
You're doing the peas kind of more as like a garnish, sort of on the top, right?
Well, yeah,
little
it's just-
salad.
We're going to slice them. It's like a salad. I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to go with the herbs. We'll just put a splash of olive oil in there. And so I've got tarragon and parsley. This will be great with mint.
Basil.
Basil, if you have that right now.
Basil and tarragon are kind of similar in flavor.
Yeah, they're both kind of anise. They can be. It depends on the varietal of basil, but
That's fair.
um,
The average basil that you find
Yeah.
in the store is similar.
similar. So yeah, tarragon, basil, mint, parsley. I mean, I think even a little cilantro
Mm-hmm.
could be nice if that's what you have.
Yep.
Especially with the coriander and the carrot. So,
Oh yeah. I mean, coriander is just cilantro seed, so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, yeah, that's like mimicking flavors and paralleling them.
And I'm just stripping off the less tender stems. If you have some stems in here, it's fine. And then parsley. I love to just include everything, especially now. It's not going to be, shouldn't be bolted or woody or anything yet. So,
If that's the bundle that I bought, I did get that from the grocery store, so just. Are we checking on our veggies now on the stove real
yeah,
quick?
just giving them a check. They're not going to be anywhere near close, but they're boiling pretty hard, so I'm going to turn my heat down. We kind of just want a light simmer
Wow, it smells really good.
until like that cardamom's really perfuming. Cool.
And the fennel too, though. Like the fennel's definitely there with the cardamom.
Yeah. Cool. So those are working. That's going to take the longest, I think, out of everything. So,
That's why we did it first, right?
yep. Cool. So, herbs. I just like to slice as thin as I can, because the less you run your knife through your herbs, the less likely you are to bruise them.
What happens if you bruise them?
I mean, they just they kind of start turning brown on you.
Okay.
Kind of just look unappealing. I mean, the flavor is not going to really be any different, but I also like to go really thin so that any stems that are in here get sliced nice and short, and they won't affect the edibility, as I guess would be the term.
Edibleness, maybe? I don't know.
Eating.
Palatability.
Cool. There we go. Done. Then same with tarragon or mint or
So wait, hold on. Before you go through that whole thing, how did you
what's up?
how did you do that whole thing? You just, I know for you, that's just how you do it, but can you tell everybody what you're doing over there? Like
Yeah.
how you do this process?
So you kind of you can take your herbs and just kind of bundle them really nice, roll them, stuff them together kind of.
So that they're nice and tight.
Yeah. Now, if you're doing mint or basil, what I like to do is pick it and then just make a pile of the leaves.
And then like roll it up.
Yeah, kind of give it a little roll up and then do the same thing. And tarragon, parsley, right in your bowl.
You mind putting that bowl a little closer to the cutting board?
Oh yeah, I can put it up here.
Awesome.
We are going to put a little spring onion in this too.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many at the market now. It's crazy to me that like they plant this many and like thin out the fields with them and still have that many left over that they can still like fully plant the crop that they've gone through all
Well,
the
for
trouble
me-
of growing.
For me, this is like the best form, and if I was like farming or something, I would just sell like, I wouldn't take garlic to
To cure.
bulbs and cure them and all that. I would just sell it as spring garlic, and when it's gone, and move on.
Will it grow like that all summer?
No, they start forming the bulbs. As soon as you see a garlic scape form,
Yeah, but I mean, if I took like a garlic clove and like planted it right now into a plant, like, could I perpetually have like a spring garlic over the course of the entire summer?
I don't know, maybe. So the spring onion, we're slicing super thin as thin as you can. And we're just gonna throw this right into this salad.
Yeah.
So these are definitely more mild than an onion you'd get later in the year. So, yeah.
Yeah, they're like light and green, but still have a little bit of that onion like
Right.
funk.
And then we're gonna take
Are you stacking snow peas?
snow peas, do a stack of 3 or 4, whatever you're comfortable with, or just 2, but whatever, or one at a time. And it's gonna be the same. What I want to do here
Can you
is,
show me a little piece of what you just did?
yeah, same thing though.
Because I know you're just powering through all this prep over here, but everybody needs a
Yeah, we have
second.
these nice thin sliced peas, and we're gonna do this same thing with sugar
What
snaps.
is that, like an eighth of an inch?
I don't know, something
maybe?
like that. Just thin, as you're comfortable doing. you know, if you're going through and you want to cut them like that, it's going to be fine.
Okay. But if you have both peas, both snow peas and sugar snaps, you're just doing snows right now, right?
Stacking snows and slicing those, and then sugar snaps, same kind of process.
Wow, I can really smell those apricots going. I don't know if everybody else's kitchen smells as good right now, but it smells awesome.
Yeah. It's the aromatics on that are
Yeah.
just insane. Cool. So now we'll get into these.
Sugar snaps.
Yeah. Just going to take like a line of them. I don't know if you can see all this, but I'm just going to take a line. Slice them. Just like so. Whatever you're comfortable doing.
And you said this is going to be kind of like a raw salad to go over top
Yeah,
of the
it's
steak.
raw.
Okay.
I'm going to hit it with salt, pepper, olive oil, you know, stuff like that. Maybe we'll give it a taste. Don't know if I want the acidity stacked on top of the acidity of the agrodolce necessarily.
Yeah.
I'm going to try it and just see. We might do like a semi-squeeze of lemon or a splash of vinegar or something. Cool.
So just giving everything a little stir again.
Giving them a little stir. I could tell the bottom was starting to
Like stick a little bit.
stick a touch, you know, nothing's burned, but you could just tell. So I'm going to turn the heat down even more. Just kind of let these keep steaming out for now. If we need to reduce that liquid later, it's really easy to do. So, and you can't really overcook carrots and beets. I mean, you can, but not.
They'll give you some time before they go to hell.
Yeah. And even overcooked. I mean, you know what a braised carrot tastes like. It's still, might be mushy, but it's still good.
Yeah. Still sweet.
So.
Gosh, it smells so good in here. No, I'm excited this week to hopefully start getting some apricot things up on the blog and some more cherry things. I feel like there's just so much stuff to try and cram into this short window that we usually have for apricots and cherries. I feel like they usually get 2 to 3 weeks and maybe a month, but I don't know. I've never had them this early, so I don't know if that just means they're going to keep on going or if it just means they're going to be gone that much sooner this year.
Well, they fruit as much as they're going to fruit, right?
Yeah, I would think.
No
but
matter what. They probably just have crazy yields because none of the blossoms died, right?
I'm so happy for them because I know, what was it, like 2020 or 2021, like they had this crazy frost that like killed almost every cherry tree that
That was 2020.
I think
when
Ayla
the
lost
world was
all of their
ending.
cherry trees that year. It was just a horrible, I mean, it was a horrible year all the way around, but
Yeah.
bad year for the farmers too. And sad day for stone fruit.
All right. Let's do a
You
little
just seasoning some salt.
do a little salt. I'm going to grab my olive oil.
Shankini said public service announcement, make the cherry rhubarb crisp on the blog. It is really good. I think Patrick ate almost the entire thing.
Not almost. I ate 2 of them.
Oh, well, yeah, you ate the bourbon cherry one after that.
Right, let's kind of see.
So what did you do here? You just seasoned it with salt and added a little olive oil? That's
Salt,
it?
olive oil, give it a nice stir. The salt will draw out some of the moisture in the peas as it sits a little bit. So I just want to kind of see if it needs any acidity or not.
I have a feeling it's going to need a little squeeze of lemon.
Yeah,
My prediction.
yeah. So, got this half lemon sitting out here. Squeeze that in. Take that seed out.
Yeah, you don't want to grow a lemon tree in your belly, right?
No, I prefer watermelon.
Did your parents used to tell you that when you were a kid?
Yeah. Used to scare me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So you did about a half a lemon in there?
Yeah, about half lemon. Salt to taste.
And a nice glug of olive oil?
Nice slug of olive oil. Give it a stir. Cool. All right. So, that's that. All right. Well, we're going to get the steak going. And then we should be pretty close.
Yeah, we only have to cook the almost 2-inch steak over there.
Oh, it's fine.
Is that one of those situations where if you have a thick cut steak like that, like we should have the oven on for it? Or are we gonna have to finish it in the oven?
No, I mean, ideally, well, you're just throwing this on your grill. You could, it's thick enough to where you could actually put the lid down for this one for a little bit, not worry about overcooking it.
So what are you doing over here?
I'm seasoning.
Throwing handfuls of salt on the outside?
Yeah, I'm just going, it's thick enough. We're doing top, bottom,
Sides?
sides. Nice, done.
So you really want to like coat that wall with salt?
It's, yeah, because it's almost 2 inches thick.
What if I wasn't doing like a 2-inch thick steak?
So skip the top and the bottom and just do sides.
You mean just do like the fattest, widest part of it?
Just do this side where you're gonna have contact. Fresh pepper.
And you're like patting that in so it sticks.
Yeah, I'd like it to. It might not anyway, but. Cool. Hands. All right. I've got a cast iron enamel cast iron. And let's put it on high for now.
But you could do this on your grill. Oh no,
Grill.
if you're grilling on a grill, like
Yeah.
would you do direct heat for this or do you do
the
indirect
grill?
heat? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how would you cook
Grill,
it?
pretty much high heat. Throw it on, close the lid if it's thick. If you have thinner steaks, leave your lids up because you just risk overcooking it really bad.
And then like how do I know when to flip my steak?
So if you see any amount of blood or hemoglobin, it's not really blood, but you could associate it with the blood. If you see any kind of blood popping through,
Like through the top?
yeah, you're like you have to flip it immediately if you see that. And it's gonna be medium if you get to that point. Just is what it is.
But what if I
But-
don't want it to be medium? How do I know when to flip it before that?
A steak, you need a thermometer,
Thermometer.
or
And what temperature am I
or
looking?
you do like a 45-second. If you want nice hash marks, you do like 30 to 45 seconds, rotate it, another 45 seconds, flip it, and then you can cook it the rest of the way on the other side. And you really need a thermometer, though, to get like good temperatures on stuff.
And what am I looking for if I want like rare?
Rare, mid-rare. Well, rare, you'd have to pull at like 105.
And mid rare?
Mid-rare, you're going to pull at 115. Medium,
Okay.
you pull at 125. You just add 10 degrees.
Okay.
New York strips can carry over because of the, it's weird, because of the protein structure of the meat. They tend to carry over a little more, so I'll pull it 5 degrees earlier or something. But because that resting makes, it's a lot of cook over when you rest your meat. So.
Yeah.
Just a splash of high heat. We're using avocado oil. Don't sear a steak in olive oil.
You said don't sear a steak in olive oil?
I would not.
No. No, I mean, when you're cooking meat, you definitely want to make sure that it's on high heat, like a
All right.
steak.
Sizzling, it's working. We can give our veggies a check.
Those look like they're starting to soften a little bit more.
Yeah, so we're still not there.
So what are you doing?
I'm just stabbing them with a fork to see the texture. And it's not going in easy enough yet, so.
What texture are you looking for?
Just cooked, a soft, not mushy, but soft. So I'm gonna leave this on low with the lid on. Just keep them steaming while we cook the meat.
Smells like we might set the smoke alarms off.
I don't think so.
I do.
I got the hoods on.
That's never stopped it before.
All right. Yeah, steak's cooking. These carrots kind of seem like we're about halfway, so if you're using radishes, toss them in.
Now's the time to toss them in?
I think so, now that
Okay.
your carrots should be about halfway.
Okay.
So you can throw some radishes in. And like if you're doing broccoli for your salad, you just want to do it how we did the peas. You can take it, starting with the head, just kind of thin slice it down.
Including the stem?
Yeah, some of the stem is fine. I'd stop about halfway. Can start to get tough, but these are really young still. You know, maybe on these thicker ones, stop once you get
To like the fat part of the stem?
to where the branches all meet.
Yeah.
But yeah, really good. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw this in ours so we don't waste it, but cool. Give this another taste. Yeah. Oh, this is so good.
I'm excited for it.
Cool. All right. Right on.
What you sipping on, Chef?
I honestly don't remember.
You
What are
like
we
it?
sipping on? It's excellent. Yeah.
This is the Domaine Tempier Rosé from Vendôle in France. Pretty much like one of the benchmark producers for rosé in the entire world, and it's fantastic. It's just like summertime in a glass. Like I want to be sitting on a beach, sipping this and eating ceviche, and it would just be perfect.
So for my stove doing this, I've got this now on medium high. It just gets too hot otherwise. So, but you know what we're looking for? I'm just getting a nice crust on it and not burning it. I guess so. If you're grilling, get what you'd call a good crust on your steak and then flip it, as long as you haven't got blood pooling through yet. So if that happens before you get a crust, you need to flip it
Yeah.
anyway. So
And if anybody wants to see the bottle, there we go. This is some of the most delicious rosé you'll drink all summer. It might not be the cheapest bottle you drink all summer, but it is well worth it.
so you can see that crust on that. If you want to flip it over to this guy.
I did.
Oh, cool. And it's still really hot. I'm going to turn it down a little more. My steak's pretty thick, so you do want to cook it without burning it and all that.
Now, if you were like cooking a thinner steak, would you potentially have been like done with it already?
Yeah. There's always a chance. If that was half as thick and tempered too, you know what I mean? They'll go really fast if they're warm and thin.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
So now we just wait.
Yeah, now we're just hanging out drinking wine. Finishing up some meat.
Man, the crust on that one side just looks perfect.
Yeah, so good.
I can almost like taste the crunchiness of it.
So good. I'm gonna temp this out just for fun. We're right at 79.
And we're going to 120 for medium rare?
No, 115.
115. But the end result is 120.
It should rise up about 10 degrees.
Okay.
Now, I always say this because the hotter the cooking surface, the more the heat kind of soaks in after. So if your grill's at 550 and you put the lid down for a minute,
It's going to cook really fast.
If you want a nice mid-rare, maybe pull it at 110
Okay.
because that's more heat. Now
That like the heat that touches the outside of it gets kind of absorbed into the middle is what
yeah,
you're
it's
saying.
like a heat sink. That's
So if you have like a 350 degree heat versus a 550 degree heat,
yes.
like the 350 is not going to carry over as heavily as the 550.
No, and like at the restaurant, we'd have like our ovens at 550 for service to get things done. That heat penetration is going to be more than if you were running a cooler oven to finish your stuff in. So, yeah, it's great. And occasionally, you know, if you're doing it in a cast iron, you move it a little bit just to get the oil back under. It helps with the contact surface. And then
So do you still have this on high, or did you turn that
I
down?
turned
a
it
little
way
bit?
down because
Okay.
our burner's just ripping. It's on like just above medium for us. And then
So you're just like flipping it over to the cooler sides of the meat, or are you just trying to get a sear on the outside now?
I'm just touching that bottom part really quick. Then I'm going to touch this top part. And I'm actually going to just get rid of that smoked out oil. And our steak is so thick, I'm probably going to baste it a little bit just because.
Get a little butter in there.
Just because I can.
You're gonna throw some garlic and
No
thyme in there too.
aromatics. No aromatics. So this is what
Thought you were gonna do the classic French.
French food. So,
Wow, you smoked this place out, dude.
yeah, I know. Sorry.
It's all right. I got the front door open. I'm hoping that helps.
So, beautiful French technique here. It's going to help cook this steak a little more evenly because it's so big, and we're not using our oven because it was so hot today. I didn't want the oven on.
But now we got the front door open, so it's fine.
So, keep it over the heat.
Is that butter kind of like helping deglaze some of that like meat that's cooked into the pan at this point?
Not
too?
really.
But the
There's-
butter's turning brown, so it's getting nutty.
Oh, it is. So this hot, going right over your meat, it's going to help it cook a little more evenly.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing you got going on over there.
And I still have it on the heat. This is called basting.
Are you gonna flip it and do it on the other side too, or do you just do it on one side?
You usually only have to do it on one side, so I just went from, within that short time span, I went from 81 to 98. So,
Was it because of the basting, or it's just cooking that fast?
yeah, flip the steak, baste it, let that heat get in there.
The basting helps cook it faster?
Yeah,
Okay.
because this is like 250-degree butter probably going over top,
Yeah.
or more.
It's probably more if it caramelized.
So,
Is this something where you'd ever like deglaze or flambe with like a little whiskey or brandy
You
or
could.
something like that, just to get super fancy with it and make everything catch on fire? And
I mean, you could. That's a great way to overcook something.
what, flambeing it?
You gotta, I mean, because if it's ready, that alcohol is so hot, that flame,
Yeah.
that if your steak's done before that alcohol is done burning off, there's nothing you're doing about that.
Yeah. Better to save it for your fruit, I guess, then, huh? Like your bananas Foster or cherries Jubilee.
Cool. So yeah, we're good here.
So you shut it off the heat.
It's off.
Now you're
I'm
gonna
gonna
temp it.
I'm going to temp it really quick, but we are at 114.
I feel
Cool.
sorry for all of our neighbors that have to smell this right now.
So, steak's done. Hold it at 115. I'm going to let it hang out.
And you said you let it rest for as long as it took to cook it?
Half the amount of time it took to cook,
Half the
technically.
Okay. So if it took us 20 minutes to cook it, then you want to let it rest for 10.
Yeah. All right.
Doing another little toss on the veggies.
Little
Now,
toss.
if I did radishes in this, do you think it might be done already?
So these are nice and tender. So I like that. So we'll leave it open. I mean, this is pretty reduced, I think, because of the whole fruit, kind of. You know, it's a little more pulp than if you were just using juice or something.
Yeah.
So.
I'm
But
actually surprised that you've been cooking steak this whole time and the dog has not come over to inspect what's going on in the kitchen.
so these feel really nice. They're tender, about ready to go. And yeah, I mean, if you have the radishes, should be there because we put those in right as we were starting this meat. So I will let this rest so it doesn't bleed out everywhere. And then we can plate everything. But cool. I'm
Also,
turning the veg
veggies are
off.
off the heat.
Yeah, turn the veg off. Yeah.
Now we're just hanging.
Yeah, I'm just letting this meat rest for another maybe 4 more minutes or so. We'll slice it open and see how she looks. Should be perfect though.
I'm sure it'll be perfect.
Cool. It's hard to wait.
I know. Trying so hard to be patient. That's all right. You're giving everybody a chance to catch up if they're behind on anything, or maybe they're just now getting their stuff off the stove or off the grill or wherever they were making everything.
Tender. Still have good texture on them.
Are you over there sneaking snacks?
Yeah.
Some more salt.
You know, and the apricots and sugar added nice little sweetness to the carrots right now. That yeah, and I tried it. Just want to make sure it's seasoned.
Salt levels are where you want them.
Yeah.
How do you know like when salt is at the right point? I know it's kind of subjective, but what tells you when things are balanced?
Well, you never really want to taste saltiness, but like if you taste something, you can't quite, it doesn't quite taste as flavorful as you think it would because of everything you put in it. It needs a little more salt. I don't know.
Oh, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I'm just trying to help everybody wrap their heads
That's
around the
like-
idea of salt.
That's the idea. It's like if you put all these crazy spices in a dish and it smells insane,
But
and
then
then
it
you-
doesn't taste like it smells.
and then you take a bite and you're like, oh, I thought it would have more flavor than that. It needs salt. And then it'll kind of open that up.
Well, yeah, salt is definitely a flavor enhancer.
Yeah.
It intensifies everything.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, if you go too far, it's awful, but
Yeah.
in the right amount, it's perfect.
Just a matter of making sure all your hard work goes recognized.
Well, it lands on your plate in like the best position possible.
Cool.
And unfortunately, you kind of got to screw it up a couple times in order to get it right.
So I'm going to go ahead and slice right in the middle here. It's really nice. This meat was a little pale, so it's kind of hard to see in the lighting. I don't know if you can see that at all.
Not super well, no.
But maybe on the side without direct light. But that light is tough, though.
Yeah, it can be.
Maybe if we go... I don't know. It's beautiful. So...
Looks delicious to me. I'm excited about eating it.
we'll go ahead and... I'm doing this nice and thin. I just...
Those are what, like maybe it's just slightly less than a 1/4 inch thick?
Yeah, when you're cutting steaks like this, like if you are going to do this, there's no cutting against the grain on steak. Because the grain was cut when they made the steak. When they fabricated them.
Yeah.
So that's cutting against the grain there. No matter what you do from here, it's not happening. So you don't have to worry about that. Unless you just want to carve it like this, which would be
Dangerous and probably not worth it.
hilarious. But, all right. So we'll go ahead, nicely glazed veggies. Just kind of want to...
Wow, those look beautiful.
Love the colors on this.
Yeah.
So even if you had red beets, I mean, this would look really pretty too. So. And then we'll take our beautiful steak. Honestly, what I might do, just to make this really fun, we're going to do the spiral staircase up the veg. Like that. It's always a good presentation. And then we're going to take... You don't want to cover everything up. Then we're going to take this. Right around that edge. And then if you got like some pea tendrils in your CSA and you want to put a little touch of those on top of this,
Some microgreens.
it would also be fun.
If you had some edible flower petals.
You got a little maldon.
Some flaky salt.
Yeah.
Always love some flaky salt on my
Always
steak.
good on some steak.
Just adds that little crunch.
So, got this beautiful plate up here. And yeah, I guess we'll give it a quick whirl. Kind of see what we're working with. Did you get a nice shot of the finished plate?
Oh yeah, I did.
Okay. Just had to make sure. Cool.
Oh, it looks nice and tender.
Yeah, it's super tender. Get a little bit of everything in here.
Is that everything you dreamed of?
Even better.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah, it's all really balanced. The fruit isn't overpowering vegetables. Like the peas complement everything. It's just a really killer spring dish. I haven't made this before, so a lot of times we're just, I
Going
love
for
making
it.
different things all the time. So
Well, once you get the hang of the basics of cooking, you really can apply it in any direction. And that's where it starts to get fun and creative and maybe slightly less stressful. So,
well, this is really awesome. Yeah, I hope you really enjoyed this one. Really fun for me. And then to showcase working in fruit to savory stuff and all that. So,
yeah, it doesn't always just have to be for
Yeah.
dessert.
and it really complements this meal. Fantastic. So, yeah, please, if you enjoyed this one, got any value, please like and subscribe for me. Everyone watching, I'm sure, is already subscribed, so just like the video.
Yeah.
Give it a solid thumbs up. We're not influencers or anything. We're
No.
just out here trying to help everybody make some good food. So,
Yes, and the more people know about it, the more people there are out there making good food. So.
yeah, for real. Because unless you were eating at our restaurant, you're not getting some apricot glazed root veggies.
No, definitely not.
So,
Not the same.
you guys are eating something special. But anyway, thank you so much for being here.
Yes.
We'll be back next week for another fun show. So
Yeah.
please enjoy your weeks, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for love, guys.
Yeah.